It's time to talk about property on your evening escape at this hour. And joining us is Bernard Tong, CEO of EdgeProp.sg. It is a portal that provides users with news, analysis, listings of the property market. It is, of course, the Property Weekly, which is also part of the Edge Singapore Business and Investment Weekly. So Bernard is on the line with us. Bernard, so we heard about the Pacific Mansion sale this morning in the news. What's happening in the property market this week?
Yeah, so thank you, Tim, for having me back. So last week we spoke a lot about the activity in the EnBloc market and government land sales achieving record prices. And as you correctly pointed out, Pacific Mansion was sold this morning for $980 million. And this is the second largest ever EnBloc deal in history. So people are generally wondering what impact this will have on property prices. Will there actually be buyers or demand at these kind of prices? So the true test for the housing market this year will be at the show flats. We will be closely watching the first major launch of a mass market project this year, which is CDL's The Tapestry at Tampines, which has about 860 units. So the show flat opened 2 weekends ago for public preview, and apparently there were close to 5,000 visitors. So all eyes will be on the sales at the launch next week. And that is the same weekend that we will see Landlease open its Park Place residences at Paya Lebar Quarter for public preview as well. So this was the project that saw the first phase of 200 units sold out in one day at an average price of $1,800 PSF. Landlease has indicated that prices in phase 2 of Park Place will be about 5% higher. Market indication is that prices will start from $1,900 PSF onwards.
All right. So what sort of impact will these new projects have on the prices of other neighboring projects around the area?
So, for example, at the Tapestry, based on the guide prices provided by the developer, the average selling price is likely to be in the ballpark of $1,300 PSF. This is about 16% higher than the average price of the Alps residences next door. So CDL paid 17% higher for the site at the Tapestry in April last year compared to what the developer of the Alps residences, MCC Land, paid for the site next door in 2015. Now, what's interesting is that the average selling price at the Alps residences has also moved up since late last year as market sentiment improved. Now, bear with me here. I'll share with you some stats. So if you compare the average price of units sold in the last quarter of 2017 to the first 3 months this year, prices at the Alps are up 2.8%.
Okay.
And so now this is more than double the 1.2% increase from the time the project was first launched in October 2016, a year and a half ago, to last quarter last year. Now, when the Alps Residences was launched in October 2016, 280 units were sold on the first day alone at an average price of $1,075 PSF.
All right.
Today, the project is close to 90% sold.
Okay. Well, are there should people be bargain hunting in the resale market then?
Now, this is where it gets interesting. You would think that people can find better bargains in the resale market. But in a market where prices are on an upward trend, it's not always the case. So let's look at a few examples. So take the example of the area around Park Place Residences at Paya Lebar Quarter. Just across the road is City Plaza, which is an old mixed-use development. The owners are actually now holding back their units in anticipation of a collective sale. So there are no units for sale. And in fact, if you look at the number of property listings on major portals, including EdgeProp, they have been dropping as owners are pulling back and hoping for luck in the EnBloc market. Now, then you have Katong Regency, which is also just next door. Katong Regency is a mixed-use freehold development. The latest resale at Katong Regency was in Feb, when a unit was sold at an average price of $1,570 PSF. But if you look at recent listings on EdgeProp, owners are asking above $2,000 PSF. Now, this is more than 20% above the last transacted price. Whether there are buyers at these prices remains to be seen. Nonetheless, although resale prices have gone up, they are still generally 10 to 15% cheaper than new launches.
All right, but they have to factor in the years left in the property, right? But how do you think prices will increase or decrease this year?
That's the million-dollar question, and that's where there's been a lot of debate. On the ground, based on anecdotal evidence, which I've just mentioned, most people would argue that prices are likely to increase by double digits. So say somewhere between 15 to 20%. On the other hand, property consultants are sticking to their forecasts of about 5 to 7% based on the URA Private Property Price Index, which is a broader measure. So their rationale is that property cooling measures such as TDSR and ABST are still in place. Home buyers are generally still quite price sensitive.
All right. What about the perfect spot in terms of pricing in the property market? Is there one? Is there a sweet spot?
The sweet spot for home buyers generally is still in the range of $800,000 to $1.2 million. And this is based on the latest home buyer sentiment survey EdgeProp did with Knight Frank late last year. And developers are actually aware of this. And that's why if you look at the new launches, more than half the units are typically 1 to 2 bedroom units. Unit sizes are also getting smaller to keep them affordable. So, for example, 1 bedroom units are generally from 430 square feet, and 2 bedders are generally from 600 square feet. And this isn't something new, right? So, units have been shrinking since 2009 after the global financial crisis. Mm-hmm. People generally have come to accept this as a fact of life in buying a new home in Singapore. But at the end of the day, people still like to complain about it.
Exactly. Oh well, so that's what's happening in the property scene this week. Bernard, can you tell our listeners where they can read about everything we talked about today?
There are 2 ways to go about it. You can read it. You can find them online at edgeprop.sg, or you can grab a copy of the Edge Weekly.
All right, Bernard, thank you very much for that. Bernard Tong there, CEO of EdgeProp.sg, here on Your Evening Escape on 938 Now.